is good boxing after dark.
In our 25th year, the following is a special presentation of HBO Sports.
Tonight, another edition of Boxing After Dark. You'll see Samoan-born David Tua trying to continue his ascent up the heavyweight ladder, taking on Ike, the president, Ibeabuchi of Nigeria. And top welterweight Jose Luis Lopez risks a lot, moving up to junior middleweight level and even beyond to fight veteran Aaron Davis, who weighed in 7 pounds over the contracted weight limit. We're in Sacramento, California, capital of the Golden State, and the hometown of Boxing After Dark theme music composer Bruce Turgan. For the second straight week of the baddest telecast in boxing, there's always a special buzz when a hard-punching heavyweight is in the ring. And David Tua, the New Zealand Olympian, is widely seen as the second coming of a young Mike Tyson. But could he be in line for an upset tonight? Strap yourselves in. Find the courage in your hearts. Primp a little bit if you want to look good. Boxing After Dark is back, bigger and more boisterous than ever before. And hello again, everybody. I'm Jim Lampley. Welcome to a second consecutive week of HBO's Boxing After Dark. If you were with us last Saturday night, you witnessed one of the most spectacular nights of boxing so far this year. A tremendous upset in the heavyweight division as veteran Jesse Ferguson took out young prospect Samson Pauha. And then a tremendous upset in the 140-pound division as Vince Phillips finally got his first world title, knocking out heavily favored 140-pound world champion Costa Tszyu. That's the way it was last Saturday night. Tonight, all eyes on David Tua as he tries to stare down the specter of an upset, taking on the highly capable Ike Ibeabuchi of Nigeria. But another fight first, and working with me as always to call that one, HBO boxing analyst Larry Merchant. Larry, we get ready to witness the new bad boy star of the welterweight division, Jose Luis Lopez of Mexico. But this fight has all the trappings of an incipient fiasco, as the opponent, Aaron Superman Davis, contracted to fight Lopez at 154 pounds, 7 pounds beyond where Lopez normally likes to be. Then weighed in last night at 161, 7 pounds over the limit, after Lopez himself had weighed in at 153. Later, there was another weigh-in. Davis is said to have weighed 155 and a half. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. What does this weighty matter have to do with what happens in the fight?
Well, it tells us that Aaron Davis would rather make love than war. And that comes straight from Aaron Davis, in fact. He admits that he has not used his talent ever since he lost the welterweight title to Meldrick Taylor when he was 24 years old. The reason he insists is that he has an addiction. It's women. The young man who called himself Superman now has found out firsthand that not even Superman can be Superman if every other woman who comes down the street looks to him like a sexy Lois Lane. But Lopez is not exactly a wallflower either. He trained in London, taken away from Durango, his hometown in Mexico, to get away from what are euphemistically called distractions. And the first thing that happened was he disappeared. They found him a few days later in Liverpool practicing his English with a woman. The main difference between these two fighters, Jim, is that Lopez made the weight comfortably, and he's 24 and Davis is 30.
So we'll see how much Aaron Davis has left, as he is apparently under-conditioned, or so it would seem, going into the ring against Jose Luis Lopez. Lopez, you talked about distractions, Larry. The primary manifestation of that distraction was a suspension from the state of California for testing positive for marijuana after having knocked out Yori Boy Campos a year and a half ago. But he has come on to become a major star at 147 pounds tonight, fighting, as we've told you, over the limit. You saw the record of 38-3-1. So he's got 42 fights in his career as he gets ready to fight the even more experienced Aaron Davis, who once held a welterweight championship after scoring an upset victory over Mark Breland several years ago. Then, by his own admission, couldn't continue to pay attention to the sport, at least to the degree necessary to stay at that championship level. Tale of the tape between Jose Luis Lopez and Aaron Superman Davis. We told you that Davis weighed 161 first weigh-in, then later 155 and a half. And we've weighed them both before they enter the ring tonight. Larry Merchant?
He is said to have lost 5.5 pounds in a couple hours in a sauna. I suspect that maybe they moved the scale into the sauna with him.
Earlier tonight, Davis weighed 169 pounds in his dressing room, and Lopez weighed 160. Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Jose Luis Lopez Aaron Davis fight is scheduled for 10 rounds. There is no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. The doctor or the referee can stop the fight, and he could be saved by the bell in the 10th and final round only. Jim.
All right, thank you, Harold. Let's go to ring announcer Jim Hall for the official introductions.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the entertainment capital of Northern California, the Arco Arena, where tonight, Don Chargan Productions and Main Events Monitor, in association with your undisputed, undefeated king of beers, Budweiser, this Bud's for you, present 10 rounds of boxing in the junior middleweight division. This bout is sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission. Our 3 judges scoring this bout on the 10-point must system are Raul Caiz, Hank Ellisbrew, and Dick Young. When the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action is Marty Denkin. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing first and fighting out of the blue corner, wearing red and weighing 155.5 pounds. His professional record, 43 victories, 26 by knockout with only 5 losses. From the Bronx, New York, here is the former WBA welterweight champion of the world, Aaron Superman Davis. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black, trimmed with white, and weighing 153 pounds. His professional record, 38 victories, 30 by knockout, with just 3 losses and 1 draw. He's from Durango, Mexico, presenting the former WBO welterweight champion of the world, Jose Luis Maestrito
person. Toques de mano, touch gloves.
Okay. This is a fight, Jim, between yesterday's news and bad news. Only one of them can come out of this with good news.
And there's a look at Aaron Superman Davis. Lopez, last night when Davis first weighed in so far over the limit, said that he wouldn't fight him, and then ultimately was persuaded to go ahead with the bout. And of course, the big question here is who benefits from the weight disparity? Davis because he weighs considerably more than Lopez as they go into the ring tonight, or Lopez because Davis is under condition? Only the fight can tell us that.
Lopez showed the confidence in his ability to be willing to fight him at any weight, virtually.
Lopez has shown a lot of skill in recent outings, most particularly against Yori Boy Campus, who had only one loss in more than 60 bouts going in, that to the hard-punching Felix Trinidad, but Lopez utterly took him apart in 5 rounds.
Off of that fight, there are many people in the boxing community who feel that he is a fight or two away from being able to challenge the best fighters in the welterweight division, De La Hoya, Forte, Trinidad. One unique situation here in our experience, Jim. Both of these fighters' fathers were fighters, and both of them are in their corners. I don't recall having that happen to us before.
Jose Luis Lopez's father at first didn't want his son to become a fighter, but then saw the inevitability of it when young Jose Luis insisted on going to the gym and decided that he would join the enterprise rather than to fight it. Aaron Davis has had his dad with him for every professional fight. 48, make it 49 tonight.
Davis working his jab very well here in the first round. Lopez trying to figure a way to get under it or around it.
Right hand over the top by Lopez, just a little bit short.
Or over it.
Jab to the top of the forehead by Davis. He's been able to show a high energy level in this first round. If I were Aaron Davis with that heavyweight advantage, I think I would try to get to the ribcage of Lopez and wear him down here in the early rounds with some body punching. And incidentally, you'll notice that only Larry and I are working here tonight calling the fight. Normally we'd be joined by 3-belt world champion Roy Jones Jr., but Roy is home in Pensacola tonight after the death of someone close to him. And Roy, our best wishes and thoughts are with you.
A good round for Aaron Davis.
And as we go to Jose Luis Lopez's corner a little bit later, where the predominant language is Spanish, our interpreter there will be Ray Torres. We start you off in Aaron Davis's corner.
You know, that jab is the thing. As long as you work that jab, you got all night long. You can do that over and over and over in his head. Beautiful. All night. Beautiful. Beautiful. Just keep doing that shit just like you're doing.
Vamos, tranquilo. Vamos a ganar, eh? Very, very tranquil, and we're going to win this fight. Ándale, póngase vivo. No se meta de frente para que no me lo
Get smart. Don't just go right in front of him. Bob and weave and get inside.
Lopez Sr. had over 100 professional fights. Was a well-known featherweight in his day. Davis Sr., Tumbler Davis, was a light heavyweight, known as Tumbler because he would do flips after his fight.
Aaron Davis landing 9 of 44 attempted jabs in the first round. The use of that jab, obviously the difference in the eyes of Harold Letterman, who gave the round to Davis. Lopez threw only 10 jabs in the first round. So let's see if Jose Luis tries to step up the activity level here in the second round.
Yuri Boy Campus, against whom Lopez looked like a world beater, came straight to him with his head sitting out there to be hit, and Lopez just completely dismantled him. Davis has boxing skills, as you can see, using his jab, presenting a different kind of problem. Whatever the problem is, Lopez has yet to figure it out.
Stand-up fighter Aaron Davis circling to his left. Stay away from the Lopez left hook. And now Lopez looks a little bit more anxious to step inside and try to force the action, as Davis has been keeping him out at the end of his jab through most of the first 2 rounds.
Perhaps it's possible that Lopez feels that the weight and the suggestion from that weight that Davis may not be in top shape should make him wait him out.
And you saw referee Marty Denkin, by far the most experienced and best known of all the California referees, warning Jose Luis Lopez not to hold behind the head and hit. Hard left hook by Lopez.
These are two well-schooled boxer punchers. Lopez moving forward. Davis just staying out of range, using his jab to keep him at bay.
Good uppercut by Lopez. He follows it up with the right hand. Aaron Davis tying Jose Luis Lopez up as he comes off the ropes, but now Lopez goes back to power punching. A big flurry to end round two.
A right hand went right through Davis's guard. Davis appeared to be stunned momentarily.
And there's a counter left hand by Davis to stem the tide as round two comes to a close.
Time out. Wait a second. I want you to watch your head and behave himself, or I'm going to disqualify him.
Okay. Hielo in defense. Yeah. Hielo, no agua. Échame el hielo, la bolsa de hielo. Let's get some ice in this corner here.
¿Cómo lo sientes? ¿Bien?
How do you feel?
Se va a caer en cuanto le repitan los golpes.
As soon as you hit him again, he's going to fall down.
¿Sí? Combinación de Lopez.
Just keep your hands up, right?
You throw the jab, pull it back. Yes, don't let it leg. You can't lob it out there. Throw it back, pull it right back in.
So put that in. Keep it. Right? That jab is the thing. Don't have to look to load up. Just keep popping it. Pop.
Lopez waited, and finally threaded something right straight through the guard there, and that seemed to stun Davis as he held on through most of the rest of the round. The referee has warned both fighters to watch their heads. Frankly, I didn't see much danger that they were posing to each other.
Yeah, I thought it was a little early for Marty Denkin to be warning Lopez that he might disqualify him.
Yeah. Denkin is a strict constructionist of the rules, but that seemed to be awfully strict.
And because of the timeout that Denkin called to talk to the fighters, that was well more than a minute between rounds 2 and 3. That probably benefits Davis, who would seem to be the iffier of the two in terms of conditioning.
Sneaky right hand got through.
One hold. It's embarrassing.
Lopez much more aggressive from the middle of round 2 forward. He started to thread through Davis's guard, as Larry Merchant pointed out to you, with that right hand. Davis not throwing the jab with nearly the same frequency now as was the case in the first 4.5 minutes of the fight, and obviously that's because of Lopez's right hand. Good combination by Davis.
Davis has to give Lopez something to think about. He can't let him just come on to him. And that's what he was trying to do there with that quick combination. And this one. Good left hand by Davis.
Davis finding his way through with the uppercut. Now right hand, left hook. Davis in this round doing a much better job of putting punches together. Another 3-punch combination there. Right hand uppercut in there landed for Lopez. Lopez, one of those fighters who does not look particularly strong. He's loosely muscled, but then you watch the leverage and the timing with which he throws punches, and you can see that there is power there.
Step back.
You can see the influence of having fathers who are professional prize fighters on these two young men. Jim, they both know what this game is about. They're really well schooled, using their left hands, seeking openings, striking back when they're struck. These are two really good professional prize fighters. There's a good example of Davis coming back with very nice combinations.
Excellent demonstration of counter-punching by Aaron Davis in a big round 3. And still to come tonight, you'll see heavyweight prospect David Tua trying to further polish his credentials against Ike Ibeabuchi. Questions arise about Tua after some of the difficulties he's experienced in his past 2 outings. A 12-round knockout over David Izanrate in December, but a fight in which, as you'll see, Izanrate was able to fire a lot of right hands up the middle against Tua, and Tua absorbed perhaps more punishment than his handlers would have liked to have seen. Then in the next fight, that was Tua knocking Izanrate out in the 12th round with just seconds to go. And then in the next fight against Moskaev, he had a little difficulty with Moskaev's technicianship, Larry.
Well, he's a diamond, but he's got some flaws just like every fighter. But when you see him finish this way, when you see him close the deal, then he's a big deal to watch.
Tua, as you saw, finishing both of those fights late with the left hook, which has been his primary weapon. In round 3, Aaron Davis landed 24 of 58 punches, 20 of 31 power shots, many of them effective counters against Jose Luis Lopez's jabs and right-hand leads.
Perhaps Davis doesn't want to suffer for his art anymore, Jim, but he does have some art left.
Solid left hand by Aaron Davis in the early going in round number 4. Jose Luis Lopez attempting to get up on his feet a little bit more, work the jab. Following the jab with another left there. Round 3 appeared to belong to Davis as the result of his crisp combinations.
Don't hold him. So balance, break. Break.
Both fighters have been successful enough upstairs to be concentrating most of their attacks there. Early on, Davis seemed conscious of going to Lopez's body. A couple times in the last couple of rounds, you've seen Lopez digging the left hook to Davis's ribcage. There's a straight right hand at the body by Lopez. Davis working upstairs in this round and has had a couple of very effective counter left hands.
Good right hand.
Davis pumping the jab twice and Lopez going across the top of it with that right hand, and that sets up the flurry by Lopez as he backs Davis up against the ropes. Jose Luis Lopez believing he's got his man hurt. Left hook to the body, just misses with 2 uppercuts. Either one would have done a lot of damage.
Davis trying to mount something to come back. So far, Lopez hasn't allowed him. And there it goes. He gets off with a nice combination and a good left uppercut.
Both fighters doing damage here in round 4. Lopez scoring with uppercuts. Davis countering with combinations. Boxing after dark action. Controlled violence in the junior middleweight class from 2 classy fighters, Jose Luis Lopez and Aaron Davis.
He's not going to take the turn of the fight that you have. You need to get down with him. Don't go and exchange with him. You got to bend down. And let's go for that liver. You got to hit him in the liver. He's going to be weak if you hit him in the liver. Go underneath.
He never fought nobody like you. Telling you now. You got a game plan, you got to stick to it, eh? Every chance you get, go for that body with him, right? In a good shape, you're running hard. You're running around, beautiful. Okay? Keep going. In your nose, out the mouth.
And fight when you want to fight. Box. Okay? And you put them together, you look good.
Here's Davis coming back at the end of the round, probably helping him to win that round.
Let's go. Let's go.
You heard the instructions from both corners to go to the body.
And by CompuBox count in round 4, the two fighters combined to land 32 of 50 power shots. It was a power shot slugfest in the 4th. So gradually, Jose Luis Lopez luring Aaron Davis into a slugfest after Davis started off boxing behind the jab.
How did you have it after 4 rounds, Harold Letterman?
Larry, I got it all even. I think it's a beautiful boxing match. 2 rounds to 2, 38-38. I thought that Jose Luis Lopez won enough of that 4th round to win it. I thought he hurt Aaron Davis with that right hand. I thought he hurt Aaron Davis in the 2nd round with a right hand. But Aaron Davis, a slow starter, is boxing beautifully. He certainly outboxed Lopez in rounds 1 and 3.
I have it 3 rounds to 1 for Davis. And nobody could be more surprised than me the way Davis is performing right now. Except possibly Lopez.
Well, I'm in agreement with you. This is the best Aaron Davis we've seen in years.
Well, he saw 2 veteran fighters last week coming out for big efforts to try to revive their careers. Perhaps he was inspired by them, because he's fighting an inspired fight up to this point.
Big upsets last week for Jesse Ferguson and Vince Phillips. Could Aaron Davis get a little of that boxing after dark magic for himself tonight? Lopez is the man with the rising star coming in here. There's a left hook across the top and 2 vicious shots at the body by Jose Luis Lopez.
It's on break.
They trade uppercuts inside. Hard left hook across the top by Davis as Lopez was strafing his ribcage with left hooks himself.
Lopez followed his father's advice to go to the body. Davis made him pay for it.
Through 5 rounds of a scheduled 10, as the clock ticks down in the 5th. Excellent professional prize fighting. Chanting Lopez, Lopez, Lopez. Strong Mexican-American representation here in Sacramento. Lopez is from Durango. He's a surfer, a skateboarder, a mountain biker, and a hard body puncher. Fusillade of combinations by Lopez here. Shakes off the counter left hook by Davis. Now a straight right hand by Davis. And Davis seizes more of the initiative as round 5 ends with a rousing exchange.
And a mouse under Davis's right eye.
Hey, look, stick to the fucking game plan. All right? You play with this fucking guy, Lewis. You hear me? Stop playing with this fucking guy. That wet towel. Stick to the script. You're giving him a shot all the time. He can't do nothing with you. He's looking at Aaron, okay? Yeah. He's looking to get wild, right? You do your thing. You don't have to fight like he's fighting. You're the man out there. You just keep that jab running.
Vamos, ya no puede.
Luis, you got to throw more punches. Okay, he's not going to be able to go much more. You got to put a big effort.
Una pega y una cubre. Cuando se mete, tírele golpes.
Take a look at this vicious pinpoint combination fusillade at the end of that round. Patient, positive.
And eager Jose Luis Lopez fairly springs across the ring to begin round 6. You heard Aaron Davis's corner telling him, you don't have to fight the way he does. In other words, don't get into a brawl.
But it is his instinct as a championship mentality to fight back when he is hit. And you can't fault him for that. His corner would like him to fight a perfect boxing fight. That's not who he is. He's a prize fighter.
He knows very well the value of trying to stick within a boxing envelope in this fight. He said, my weakness has been a tendency to want to fire back when guys hurt me. In this fight, I've got to shrug it off and stick with my boxing. Davis going back to the jab that served him so well in the first couple of rounds. In the last few rounds, Lopez has gradually been taking that jab away from Davis, leading with power shots as he did there.
Seems to be a little less spring in Davis's legs at this moment. Not moving the way he did in the first few rounds, understandably.
As the rounds go by, the pendulum seems to shift in Lopez's favor. Remember, Davis was trying to make 154. Got only as far as 161 at the time of the first weigh-in yesterday. And reputedly lost another 5.5 pounds. The California State Athletic Commission won't vouch for that. Tonight, before fight time, he weighed 169. And remember, the contracted limit for the fight was 154.
Lopez has come up from welterweight to begin with, so he is fighting a bigger man, even if the bigger man had come down to 154.
Lopez continuing within the past couple of rounds to back Davis up. Doing it with power punching. Davis stepping forward behind the jab. A half grin creasing the lips of Lopez now as he warms to the combat.
I think he feels Davis weakening. Or at least believes he does.
Davis again goes back to the combination. Jab, right cross, left hook to the body. Right hand lands across the top for Lopez. And he snaps Aaron Davis's head back with a jab as round 6 comes to a close.
Lo tienes dominado, Luis. Está dominada la pelea, nomás.
You're dominating the fight. Don't go in without throwing punches. If you go in, make sure you're throwing punches. Don't let him connect on you. You got him already. 7th round's coming up. You gotta fight real intelligently. You can dominate this fight. You're dominating. And if you're not bobbing and weaving,
It's championship rounds right here. It's a round right here.
You got to move in the circle. Jab and move in the circle. Keep jabbing.
I'm about to take off.
Right the note, right the note.
Round 7 is scheduled for 10. Jose Luis Lopez in the black trunks from Mexico. Aaron Davis of the Bronx in the red trunks. Harold Letterman's card through 6.
Harold, how do you have it now?
Larry, 4 rounds to 2, 58-56, Jose Luis Lopez. Larry, I think he's winning the last 3 rounds. And you know what's setting up that right hand is that tremendous left hook to the body. That left hook that seems to be born in Mexico. And I think the judges see it. He puts that left hook underneath Aaron Davis's right elbow beautifully, and then he comes over the top with that right hand. And that's the shots that are winning these rounds.
you got it scored, Larry?
I have it 3 rounds apiece, but obviously Lopez is beginning to dominate the fight.
Both fighters getting a little bit of a rest in the first minute of round number 7. Lopez continuing to work upstairs, has not gone back to the ribcage in this round. Harold Letterman talking about that left hook and the damage it's been doing.
Even a jab has moved Davis a little bit just about 15 or 20 seconds ago.
Now Marty Denkin warning Davis about holding behind the head and hitting. Aaron Davis's mouth wide open now as he gasps for breath. Lopez continuing to bear in. A minute to go in what has been a slightly slower round 7, but here comes that Lopez right hand over the top again. Couple of counter left hands landing for Davis. Lopez's jab is getting stronger.
You get the impression that Lopez's punches sting Davis more than Davis's punches sting Lopez.
Good quick left hook up top by Davis as he countered the Lopez right. Now Davis going back to doubling up on the jab. Scoring, but not really moving Lopez, who continues to control space and distance in the ring.
But whatever his condition, there's no quit in Aaron Davis.
Still to come, David Tua risking his credentials against Ike Ibeabuchi, who came from Nigeria 5 years ago to train with former great welterweight Curtis Koch in Dallas, and regards himself as the well-kept secret of the heavyweight division. Said to us yesterday, after tomorrow night, I will no longer be a secret kept.
Take some air. Go ahead. Take a deep breath.
Yeah. Remember where we are. Fast hands, man. Fast hands.
Fast hands. Vamos, Luis. Aprieta al final de cada round para que lleves el round.
Let's go.
Lopez turned professional at the age of 15, finished high school fighting professionally during his junior and senior years. So even though he's just turned 24, he's got a lot of experience behind him.
Throwing fewer and fewer punches as Lopez more and more becomes the aggressor. Lopez pinning Davis against the ropes, trying to bring his power to bear again. Counter left hook landed for Davis there. And now Lopez begins to go back to the rib cage, and you can see Davis pinning that right arm against his ribs to try to block that punch.
This is really a gutsy performance by Davis, given his weight problems, Jim. Taking 3, 4, 5 pounds off the night before the fight, sweating it out. It's got to weaken a veteran fighter.
those moments when Lopez appears to be seizing the momentum, backing Davis up, and hurting him with punches like that, you can see Davis willing himself to go back to the jab and reestablish himself in the fight. But it's getting tougher and tougher for him to do it against flurries like this. Hard right hand by Lopez. Aaron Davis is hurt. Lopez looking to finish here in round 8, and here comes Davis with a flurry of his own.
After one of those punches, Jim, Davis's right leg lifted off the canvas, and yet he's come back in this fashion at the end of the round.
What a brave effort by Aaron Davis, who looked 30 seconds ago as though he was going to be gone. And as round 8 comes to a close, it's Davis who lands the telling blows down the stretch.
Break. Suck it up. Get that air inside you. We're going to give him these next 2 rounds. Suck it up. Come on, Tim. Keep doing it. Rinse him out quick. Pull that ass right out? Yeah. Beautiful. You got to keep doing that. Every time, sit over here. Every time you guys start punching, you got to come back with flurries. Don't stay over there and take too many. Hell yeah. All right, 2 more to go. You got it, Rip. Right? Where we are. You heard him say stay off the ropes, right? We don't hear nothing. And you heard him say we don't know where the hell we are. Right?
You see Lopez starts with an uppercut, comes forward to press his advantage. See his poise and professionalism as he tries to dissect Davis. Not over anxious, trying to measure every punch and make every punch count.
Just a terrific fight between 2 well-trained professional fighters. Coming in, you would have thought that a big conditioning advantage belonged to Lopez. The obvious weight advantage for the overweight Davis. And both fighters have compensated effectively throughout the fights for their disadvantages. Aaron Davis seizing the aggressor's role as round 9 begins.
Davis is not a champion anymore, but he does have a champion's technique and a champion's heart, because he's in against a very, very good younger fighter.
And how impressive it is for Davis to show his champion's heart in this situation. He could have walked in here and taken a check, and no one would have been terribly surprised. But he has come to fight. Stiff jab still by both fighters as they continue to work behind technical skill and bravado in round 9.
Davis may not have been cornered very much in this fight, but his career appeared to be cornered, and he's fighting out of that corner.
Because you suspect that even if Lopez were to gain a decision victory, Davis has improved people's opinions of him tonight.
Exactly.
Probably won't see Jose Luis Lopez fighting above 147 pounds too many more times. There were rumors that he had trouble making weight, but he says, I am definitely a welterweight. I am not a 154-pound fighter, regardless of what I may do here this weekend.
Luis. Está ganada la pelea. Si no lo dejas que te domine.
Louis, you're winning the fight. If you don't let him win the last round, you got the fight. You got to listen to me carefully. The first minute of the round coming out, let him come into you and then counter.
¿Oíste, Luis?
Have you heard? You need to win this round. Don't be despair. Don't despair. You're going to win this fight.
This round, touch gloves, okay? Okay, close your eyes. Beautiful. Keep this hands going. Can't see nothing. All you gotta do is 3 more minutes. Smart with hand right here. 3 more minutes and you got him. Keep control.
You got to concentrate. You got to fight. Don't let him be punching you. Keep away from his jab. You need to be in there real close.
So both corners telling their fighters that they are on the way to victory. Last round was a jab fest. 85 of 118 attempted punches were jabs.
Davis starts out with a good left hook and a Gatling gun combination of lefts and rights, and his second one.
And Davis getting Lopez's attention with power combinations to begin the 10th. Sudden bursts of energy from Aaron Davis.
Harold Letterman, how do you have it after 9 rounds?
Larry, 6 rounds to 3, 87-84. Jose Luis Lopez. I think throughout most of the fight, he's getting off first, the cleaner puncher, the effective aggressor.
I have the same score, Harold. You've caught up to me, or I've caught up to you.
Or something. The judges may have it closer, and this well could be the critical frame. And Aaron Davis has gotten off to an excellent start in round 10. Now seems to have tired just a little bit. But he continues sticking that left jab in Lopez's face.
Both fighters proving you can make love and war, Jim.
Neither a slouch in either category from what we've heard. Now here comes a Lopez flurry. Davis going back to the peekaboo defense. Davis hitting another little energy flat spot here. Lopez looking for an opportunity to take advantage. First minute of round 10 seemed to belong to Davis. Second minute of round 10 seemed to belong to Lopez. Hard right hand and another combination by Aaron Davis. Gutty effort by Davis as he tries to dig out a way to win the fight.
You know, over the years, you forget how good a fighter was in his prime, but you're getting a glimpse of it right now. When Aaron Davis was a welterweight 6-7 years ago, he could fight.
Well, he cleaned up Mark Breland at a time when Breland was still regarded as a championship level fighter. That was the high point of his career. By his own admission, he lost focus. So you've seen a rising star in Jose Luis Lopez, and you've seen a professional fighter trying to hold on to his spot on the rung in Aaron Davis. And an outstanding effort by both, as the first of our 2 main events on Boxing After Dark heads for the final bell.
Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Come on. Hello.
Standing O's for both fighters.
And well deserved.
Our Boxing After Dark series often gets fighters on the rise, veteran fighters trying to hang in there, and we get collisions and fights like this one.
Defining feature of Boxing After Dark. Either fighter can win in most of the fights that we carry here, and you saw exactly that kind of even matchup tonight.
Harold, your final score.
Larry, I love this fight. 97-93, 7 rounds to 3. Jose Luis Maestrito Lopez. I just think that the kid was the effective aggressor. certainly landed cleaner, harder shots. He backed up Aaron Davis most of the way, but Aaron Davis, such a gutty performance. Every time I thought he was really hurt bad, he would fire back. It was a real great boxing exhibition between two former world champions. I just think that Jose Luis Lopez was the effective aggressor, did land the cleaner punches, had nice defense, keeping his hands up all the time, and certainly I think the judges should have noticed that left hook to the body, which certainly slowed up Aaron Davis.
Either way, a small margin of victory. If Lopez was touch gold tonight, Aaron Davis was silver charm. And we await the decision from the three California judges at ringside. Ring announcer Jim Hall will give us the official particulars when they're ready. Davis's corner celebrating as though they want him to feel like a winner. Lopez obviously feels like a winner too. And now let's go up to Jim Hall to hear who won the fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, we go to the scorecards. Judge Hank Ellisbrew scores this fight 96-94. Judge Raul Caez scores this fight 97-94. Judge Dick Young scores this fight even at 95-95. Winner by a majority decision, Jose Luis Maestrito Lopez.
Crowd responding here to Lopez's success. But equal accolades from our end go to Aaron Davis for showing you that there is plenty of life left in his career. Final punch stat numbers in a relatively even fight. Lopez landing 19 more punches, throwing 61 more. Davis landing at a higher percentage rate. More of Davis's punches were jabs. More of Lopez's punches were power shots, and that, in the end, is probably where the judges found the difference in the fight. Larry Merchant, your final comments on an outstanding effort by both fighters there.
I suppose the difference is youth and conditioning. The younger fighter is the better conditioned fighter. It enabled him to impose his youth and determination on an equally determined fighter. He was just a little bit too much for Davis at this stage of Davis's career.
Both fighters deserve some bigger opportunities down the road. Of course, if Oscar De La Hoya were to stay in the welterweight division for a significant period of time, Jose Luis Lopez could wind up conceivably being matched against De La Hoya at either 147 or maybe down the road at 154.
Well, I'd love to see him fight somebody like Obakar, who's a real good fighter. Remember, he gave a terrific fight to Ike Corte. We'd like to see more of him. It will be a while before any of the significant welterweights will want to face him. Perhaps Ike Corte will take him on sometime. He didn't hurt himself at all tonight.
Nope. Tremendously enjoyable fight, and I'm sure you liked it just as much as we did. Let's turn our attention to the heavyweight division now, and the headline story.